Hello and welcome to this edition of Confinement. We bring you the best of France 24's homemade reporting this week. It's been 6 weeks now that Paris has been in lockdown, and as you can see behind me, the weather is beautiful here at Place Dauphine. Blossoms are out and spring is in full swing. But Parisians are going to have to wait a little longer before they take a stroll on the streets. Deconfinement has been announced for the 11th of May, but it will be a long, step-by-step process, and the government hasn't yet decided how to go about it. We start in France's hospitals that have been relying on foreign doctors for years now. With COVID-19, they are on the front line, fighting alongside their French counterparts. And this time, they hope for equal pay and equal recognition. It's a report by Karim Yayaoui, Ashraf Habib, and Claire Rush.
Nesrine Mafoudi works in this COVID unit in a hospital in France. Like her coworkers, she's had to cope with the unprecedented spike in patients. But one thing sets her apart. She earned her medical degree outside the EU, meaning she doesn't have the same professional status as European doctors.
On travaille plus que nos collègues français par nécessité, parce qu'à la base, on n'a pas les mêmes salaires à la fin du mois. Mon chef service me fait confiance. Il me considérait dès le départ comme un médecin. Donc je ne vois pas pourquoi la République française ne nous reconnaît pas comme des médecins.
Nesrine Mafoudi is not alone. Thousands of foreign doctors practice in France, often in less secure jobs with lower pay. But many of them have become indispensable, particularly at this hospital in the northern Paris suburb of Saint-Denis.
Beaucoup de services d'urgence ne fonctionnent que grâce à des médecins à diplôme étranger. Je pense que ces médecins-là ont rendu un énorme service à la France.
This doctor agrees. Amin Benyamina left Algeria for France in 1996 and knows firsthand about the struggles foreign doctors face. Now the head of psychiatry and addiction treatment at this hospital just south of Paris, he's become an advocate. He sent a petition to Prime Minister Edouard Philippe requesting better working conditions for foreign doctors.
On a toujours eu besoin d'eux et on en continue à avoir besoin d'eux et on aura encore besoin d'eux si le président de la République, comme il l'a promis, fera de l'hôpital et de la santé un chantier prioritaire. Ça ne se fera pas sans eux.
A healthcare law passed last year could make it easier for foreign doctors to be professionally recognized in France, but many are still vulnerable. Jean-Jacques Razafindranazi, the first healthcare worker to die from COVID-19, was a foreign doctor from Madagascar.
These streets in Paris's famous Quartier Latin are usually bustling with life. This is where students come to have something to eat or to buy books. Paris's famous university, La Sorbonne, is only a couple of blocks away, but that is closed at the moment. So are all schools in France. They will reopen gradually starting on the 11th of May. In the meantime, homeschooling is the rule, but there are major inequalities between pupils whose parents have been to university and those who don't even have a laptop to work on. It's a report by Hanan Saidani and Yen Ali.
It's maths time in the Hadou household. Hania is in charge of homeschooling her 8- and 11-year-old daughters during the coronavirus lockdown.
Des fois, ma mère, elle comprend pas. Elle comprend pas tout.
Je peux pas remplacer le métier d'un enseignant, mais on essaie de faire avec.
The family is in contact with a social worker who gives them a hand.
Je remplis les feuilles, je les prends en photo, je lui envoie et Myriam après elle les corrige, elle me les renvoie et je corrige.
Despite the extra help, the girl's mother is worried about the upcoming school year.
Je sais que l'année prochaine, ma fille sera au collège et je vais être à l'avant parce que je prépare l'avenir de mes enfants.
She's not alone. This middle school headmaster fears the lockdown will have a lasting impact on the students' education.
Je suis sûr que beaucoup d'élèves ont cumulé le retard. Et dès le retour, il faut identifier ces élèves, il faut mettre des moyens pour aider et accompagner ces élèves.
His school has been distributing tablets to students without computers at home.
Chaque jour, on découvre un élève à la recherche d'un moyen de qualité de connexion Internet.
Internet access is key to helping families and schools stay in contact. Since the lockdown, the French government estimates that teachers have lost touch with up to 8% of the country's schoolchildren.
This is, of course, a global pandemic, and with countries locking down around the world and airports shutting their doors, the French Quai d'Orsay, the Foreign Affairs Ministry, has had to work around the clock to repatriate French nationals. Christophe was stuck in the Philippines. This is his story by Marie Schuster and Claire Rush.
March 13th, 8 o'clock. Philippine police patrol the island of Palawan to signal curfew. Tourists are nervous. The Philippines have given them only 2 days to leave the country before complete lockdown.
Les aéroports étaient bondés. Beaucoup de gens, ils ont attendu, ils ont essayé de prendre des vols commerciaux qui sont flashés dans les prix. Beaucoup de vols s'étaient supprimés. Donc d'avoir le vol dans la direction où tu souhaites, c'était pas sûr. On avait des contacts avec des gens qui sont partis à Manille, mais ils restaient une nuit dans la rue, sans l'eau, sans rien.
Back in Palawan, Christophe and his fellow travelers chose to stay and wait for their government to bring them home. These Europeans were in daily contact with their embassies, but they were surprised to find out the lack of cooperation between their countries.
J'ai trouvé ça un peu étonnant pour l'Europe, qu'ils n'ont pas s'organiser ensemble. C'était vraiment chacun pour soi. Et même dans le rapatriement, chaque avion était séparé, même le rapatriement des îles, c'était chaque nation s'organisait en fait soi-même.
Christophe waited 4 weeks before receiving an email confirming his flight back to Paris. In the Philippines, he was given a mask, his temperature was taken every 2 hours, and he had to go through decontamination, only to discover the lack of sanitary precautions once arrived in Charles de Gaulle Airport.
Premier contact, forcément, c'est le douanier derrière dans sa cabine. Et on a vu sans masque, sans gants. On vient des Philippines où c'était vraiment très strict. Et on vient ici en France où on dit on est peut-être plus civilisé ou plus organisé, mais c'était complètement le contraire.
Christophe had to pay 300 euros for his repatriation. He feels lucky. Other tourists are still stranded abroad. Some have been asked for thousands of euros by their government to buy their tickets back home.
With the virus and the lockdown, many NGOs feared there would be a surge in pet abandonment. Well, that has not happened in France, though what has happened is the shelters filling up while people were not allowed to come and adopt. Now, the French Interior Ministry has decided to allow people to choose their new pet online and to come and pick it up. It's a report by Brian Quinn.
The Society for the Protection of Animals is France's largest rescue organization for stray pets. When the country went into lockdown, its shelters could no longer welcome potential adopters to meet dogs and cats. Amid a wave of fake news pointing to pets as a vector for coronavirus transmission, the organization feared a massive increase in abandonments. That hasn't happened so far, but with adoptions at a standstill and new arrivals continuing, shelters quickly hit full capacity.
Our citizens have reacted responsibly. We haven't seen a rise in the number of abandonments. Otherwise, neither the government nor the associations would have been able to keep up.
France's Interior Ministry responded with a special exception to confinement rules. Now, hopeful new masters can pick their favorite from the SPA's website, set up a one-on-one meeting, and take home their new best friend, all without ever coming into physical contact with staff. Within 3 days of the Interior Ministry's announcement, some 5,800 people had put in their requests. The spike in demand means adopters will need to be patient. In the meantime, many have found other ways to make a new furry friend. Empruntement Toutou, French for Borrow My Doggy, is a website created in 2017 to connect dog owners short on time with dog lovers short on dogs. It's where Julia and Gauthier found Morgane the Shih Tzu. What began as helping out with walks became a foster situation when Morgane's elderly owner was admitted to the hospital. It's a chance to help out with an added bonus.
It's really nice to have a little dog in the house who gets excited in the morning.
Morgane's owner is now in recovery, and she'll be going home soon. But as France's confinement drags on, the number of animals seeking new homes is likely to continue to mount.
Well, that's it. We've come to the end of this program. I leave you with these pictures of a virtual confined carnival parade that took place in a small village called Agnan in the south of France. Thank you for watching. Stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned to France 24.
Agnané un jour, Agnané pour toujours!
Before the current crisis, pandemics have cropped up again and again, sometimes decimating entire populations. All this week, France 24 looks back at pandemics in history. The plague of Athens, the first ever recorded pandemic.
Une ville, une contrée, assaillie par l'épidémie perd ses critères. Une épidémie met en cause tout le genre humain.
The Black Death, which swept across Western Europe. Cholera, which ravaged Asia before invading first Russia, then Europe. Spanish flu, the scourge whose origins are still unclear today.
La grippe s'est transmise très facilement dans les tranchées et la deuxième vague a été plus mortelle que la précédente.
And finally, AIDS, the catastrophe of which the world has yet to rid itself. These diseases, inexplicable in their time, can now be analyzed by scientists and treated with medicine. Don't miss Pandemics in History on France 24 and France24.com.